Illinois State is a half-court team. They want to play really good half-court defense because they're experienced and they've got that continuity, and they want to sit back and do it. They don't force a lot of turnovers. They don't block a ton of shots outside of that 7-footer, who obviously had a couple in this game. And then on offense, they want to feed that ball to Chase Walker and then let him go to work. And if you double him or if you put more pressure on him, they want to kick it out and kick it around and hit those shots. And so for Auburn, what they needed to do was get in their grill and make sure not only was it going to be tough for them to pass the ball and get it down inside, but I think the very obvious part about this game, no disrespect whatsoever to Illinois State, because they were a good basketball team and they did, a good job to get to this point. Beat Wake Forest, beat Dayton. Like they, had a good year in the Valley as well. But Dan, I thought it was very apparent by the halfway point of the first half, it was like, oh, Illinois State is not used to playing this kind of athleticism and this kind of length, because it was really bothering them. And Auburn used that athleticism and that length to force turnovers. And is Auburn, we're 30-plus games into the season for Auburn. Is Auburn a defense that's going to lock you down in the half court and really just make you really grind and earn everything? Not consistently, but when they can take advantage of the fact that they're faster and longer than these teams, it speeds the game up. And all of a sudden, Illinois State's turning the ball over and having to chase or giving up open looks, in transition for Auburn, and they can't catch up. They just could not catch up. So very good on Auburn after the first few minutes of this game. Just say, hey, here's how this game is going to be played. We're going fast, and if you want to go slow, we're going to make you go fast. We're going to crank up this pressure and get in your face, and you won't have time to get back and set up your defense, and you won't be able to get to your go-to actions on offense. You're going to have to play this game sped up, and it was very obvious Illinois State was uncomfortable with that.
And that's something, Auburn's ability to speed the game up and force more turnovers and create points off of live ball turnovers. That's something that I think Stephen and the players, they've wanted to be able to do that more this year. It's just, in a lot of SEC games, things didn't go according to plan for one reason or another. I was struck by, and I guess the scout deserves some credit here, because I was struck by how many times Auburn seemed to know exactly where the pass was going to go.
Right.
And jumped it. And that's something that, yes, length and athleticism and experience, like those things matter. But I think in watching film of this specific team and taking note of their tendencies, it seemed like Auburn took advantage of that, and they were able to, they were able to jump some Illinois State passes that usually worked this year.
Yeah, 100%. It was very obvious that Auburn had more than a week to prep for this game. And I think when also you talk about how Auburn was rested in this one, they're able to, I don't want to say gamble, because I think they're well executed. They're well executed defensive stops there, but they were able to just lock into what they wanted to do, create havoc, and that havoc just turns into really easy offense, because unlike these high majors that you've been playing for a lot of the year, they're not really gifted at getting back down the floor and stopping you in transition. How many of Auburn's buckets in this game were turnover, easy pass, make it happen? Because that's all you got to do in these games. If Illinois State got to take care of the ball and maximize their possessions and hit threes and get it to Chase Walker and let him go and really grind this game down, and then on the flip side, be able to get back on defense, get set up on defense, and, kind of orchestrate that way, this game could have gone a lot differently. That's how they beat the teams they beat in the NIT to get to this point. That's how they were the Cinderella story. Auburn just said, you know what, you're not going to do that in this game. We're going to impose our style of play, which is, at its best, Auburn plays fast. They have not always been able to play as fast as they wanted to, like you said, all season long. And I think in SEC play, the lack of depth, the even amounts of athleticism, it didn't always come out. But you're in the NIT. you're unloading the clip at this point. Like you're putting everything out there that you've got. And I think you saw that in this game that Auburn was able to just really, really turn it on the defensive end, and that turned into the easiest offense they got all night. However, I will say there's a lot of easy offense even in the half court in this game for Auburn.
Yeah, and there were times, it felt like countless times in the first half